Goblin Slayer, and what you can learn from him. Goblin Slayer is probably the most controversial anime in this season. Some people love it because of its edgy gore, some people hate it for being darker than necessary, but I think we can all agree that something in this show is grabbing people's attention. Hidden in this show, and more specifically in this character, is a message for us, the people who live in the postmodern world. And for those of you who are unaware of the word postmodern, here's a quick explanation. There was a time called the Modern Age. This was a time when the world made much more sense. What you saw was mostly reality. However, we had already moved forward to the next age called postmodern. This is an age where things don't exactly mean what they mean. And if you're confused about what that could mean, then here's an explanation. Back in the modern age, advertisements were about the product itself. Like what it is, what it's used for, how good it is, how much it costs, etc. The point is that those were actual information about the actual product. However, when we move to the postmodern age, advertisements make less and less sense. Advertisements are no longer about the product, but about the people who watch those advertisements. Nowadays, an advertisement is like, "Do you like parties? Yes! Do you like fun? Yes! Do you like," insert your product name here, "Yes!" I hope that now you kinda get what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then no worries, because almost no one really understands it. What you need to know is that now it's more about how it feels and less about what it actually is. And here comes the question. But how is this all related to Goblin Slayer? Well, in our postmodern age, Goblin Slayer is trying to be modern. And how? The answer is this guy. Now, let's take a look at this guy. He's kinda lame. I mean, his armor is kinda cool, but still, he's not your typical hero. He looks, well, boring. His appearance is boring. His speech pattern is boring. His daily routine is boring. Yeah, he's really boring. And aside from that, he seems cruel and emotionless. So if we look at him from the eyes of a postmodern person, then we could assume that someone who looks boring and seems cruel and emotionless is probably a bad person. But if we only look at the impact on the world around him, then he seems like a real hero. I mean, he kills goblins so they can't attack humans. He does it because he truly believes that it makes the world a better place, and he doesn't even demand any compensation in return. No money, no fame, no sympathy. He simply doesn't care about anything else, only about his mission in life. So he is a modern hero and a postmodern villain at the same time. Interesting. And if you look at most of the other adventurers, you see the opposite. They look cool and all, but on the inside they are greedy and arrogant. They are postmodern heroes and modern villains. And what is it that you can learn from Goblin Slayer? Well, efficiency. You see, the ones who care a lot about looks and other people's opinion spend a lot of time making sure they look heroic. And that time is taken away from the time when they could actually do some heroic things. So in a way, the more time you spend to look like a hero, the less time you have to actually be a hero. For example, a fair amount of time has passed with this guy talking about how strong he is, and he kinda, spoiler alert, died in the first 5 minutes of his adventuring. On the other hand, this guy, who spent a solid amount of 0 seconds praising himself, shows up and solves the whole problem with relative ease. So, we've got the ones who act strong but are weak. And we also got the ones who look, well, boring, but are experts when it comes to their jobs. Goblin Slayer's message is quite clear to me, and if I had to sum it up, it would sound somewhat like this. To reach your goal, you have to be a minimalist on the outside, but a maximalist on the inside. If you want to reach your goal, then you should try to, as much as possible, ignore how you look and pay more attention to who you actually are. And how does this guy achieve it? He simply ignores everything else aside from his goals. No speeches about how great he is. No flashy moves with long names. No unique personality. No unique ability. No unique past. No unique motivation. And if you look at him, you only see a moving armor, killing goblins. He doesn't even look like a person. And that's another crucial part of his character. That it's only about what he does and not about who he is. In fact, if you do what he does, then you will essentially become a Goblin Slayer yourself. So the message is that anyone, even you, can become a Goblin Slayer. This guy is just a regular person, an honest person. He's not trying to look like someone he isn't, he's just being himself. And no matter what others say, he will stay true to himself no matter what. And this is another important message to us. Do not fear to be different or unique. Even if others won't accept you, the only one who can tell you what to be is you yourself. And don't be naive. Face the truth that there will always be people who are against you, no matter what you do. So instead of forcing yourself to be someone you're not, you should be prepared to be criticized and misunderstood. As Friedrich Nietzsche, a great philosopher, once said, the higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. So don't be afraid of being misunderstood. It is a natural consequence of being unique. It is a sign of being unique. And that is the message of Goblin Slayer, a show that tries to deliver modern values in a postmodern world. Thanks for watching. Let me know your opinions down in the comments, and remember, the higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly.